right? So you're
Yeah.
totally in the shock of the loss at first. So even for someone who has just had a loss, for them to try to make a decision like, I don't want to live this way, because I think a lot of people in the beginning come up with, I'm going to be like this for the rest of my life.
Right.
Okay, Erica, go ahead.
I was going to say, I felt like I was coming to that point where, because remember, I had gone to the few different support groups, and I was like, okay, this is not helping. This is the worst. It's making everything worse. So I'm going to have to just live like this, is where I was kind of coming to, until we found the grief program.
So I want you to go back to,
I think the feedback is on your side.
I'm Brittany. You need to fix that, girl. So I want you to go back to, I don't know which one to turn down.
I think your phone.
I did, but I'm afraid that they won't be able to hear me if I turn it all the way down. Okay.
Okay.
I want you to go back to June 17th, 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even go back that far. I mean, go back that date. Go July 17th, 2006. Go August 17th, 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Could you even imagine 30 years without him? 20
No,
years without him?
no. At that point, I remember I had just gone back to work in August. So August 17th, I remember having to leave work because I looked at the calendar and realized I had been living without him for 2 months, and it sent me home. So just then, I couldn't even do 2 months, let alone fathom 30 years. I
Right.
remember that vividly because one of the supervisors came over and I was like sobbing in my cubicle, and she's like, just go home. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I can't even work.
Right. Okay, so stop there for a second. The 17th, June 17th was the day that I
Mhm.
told you that we had found him and he had drowned. Then the 17th starts to become your marker.
Yeah.
So even way back then, and when grievers do that, that's an actual thing, a real thing.
Hmm.
Every 17th. Do you still do it? Do you still do it 20 years
Yeah.
later?
When Kelsey picked her wedding date and she said June 17th, it was immediate. It wasn't even a hesitation. And then I didn't say anything because it's like, it was her wedding. I didn't want to like make Austin the front and center. And then finally people started like, oh, isn't that Austin's anniversary? And I was like, yep, yep. Like I knew it the minute I heard the date. That's where my brain goes. It's like it's like autopilot.
But then something else happened. You were like, let's make something good out of this. Let's make
Yeah.
something good out of that date.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go on and read. Loving, Losing, Living is a detailed account of Erica's journey through life, from her naive view of love and marriage to her traumatic introduction to grief and her fight to not lose herself in the darkness while struggling to find a life still worth living. Struggling to find a life still worth living.
Hmm.
Is that still a thing for you, do you think, or do you think you're there?
I don't think that the struggle is there. It's weird. On Saturday, I was doing a grocery store run and I was just thinking and reflecting. And I always try to it's like nice to do it in the car because you kind of by yourself and you really have the time. And I was really like digging in with the emotions, like, okay, what's there? Because every year is different. You don't know what it's gonna be like. And this feels different from Donovan's 30th. Donovan's 30th, like I knew I was feeling the grief from the week before. I could start feeling it. But this one didn't happen that way. So I just remember feeling like it's sad because I miss him so much that we can't celebrate it with him. And it would have been such a great milestone for our family, the way that we all come together. But I think that I'm there. I think I'm there I'm on the other side of the grief. I've made it through. And I really that came very clear on Saturday because I was like, just kind of leaning in, like, am I sure? Am I sure but I'm like, no, I've made it through to the other side.
Hey, Erica, say hi to Monette. Hey, Monette, I see you requesting to be a guest. I'm going to pull you up. Can you just hang in there for a minute? I'd love to introduce you to Erica on live. It'd be so beautiful. Erica, Monette is one of my clients that has lost 3 children. She's doing some beautiful work. I would love to have you come up, Monette. So She goes, I didn't mean to. She clicked to come up. Hold up, because I would love to at least have Erica address you. So I want you to hold up because we're celebrating Austin today. All right. Okay, Erica, that was such a profound statement. Such a profound statement. So many people don't think it's possible.
I know.
And
I
they
know.
get
And I
stuck.
think that it's so overwhelming in the beginning and it's so extremely painful that you can't imagine that it is possible. I never thought back when you said go back August 17th and August 17th, 2006, I never thought I would be sitting here saying these words ever.
Yeah.
Because you're so consumed by what you're feeling in that moment, which is just such pain and
Yeah.
sadness.
Okay. Erica shares her personal experience with losing not one, but two of her beloved children. Austin, her 10-year-old, drowned in 2006, and her oldest son, Donovan, was killed in a motorcycle accident in 2015. These experiences she describes as being struck by lightning twice. Struck by lightning twice.
Yes. Someone just suggested we turn down the volume on the computer and turn the phone up. Do you think that will work?
Let's try it.
Thanks, y'all. We're trying to figure this out. It's our first time, so we're sorry. And we really want y'all to be able to hear. Is that better?
That's better on there. Becky, can you hear on the computer? Becky, can you tell me if you can hear on the computer? Struck by lightning twice.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
I mean, it just if you can imagine it, but that is what it felt like. It felt like we were just getting our lives back on track and just picking up the pieces and finding our rhythm again after Austin. And then we get the news that Donovan died. And it was like not even going back to the pain of what we were feeling from losing Austin. It was like a whole different pain, a whole different horror and nightmare, that we got sucked back into. So that's the best imagery that I could give to it is like being, if you can imagine being struck by lightning twice.
Nobody wants to be struck by lightning once, let alone twice.
Right.
The loss of the boys led her to a career in grief education and her mission to change the conversation surrounding grief. What is your core mission? She said on Facebook and on YouTube. What's your core, the core part of the conversation that you want to change, do you think?
You can absolutely survive losing a child. Because that was the message we were getting after Austin died.
Yeah.
You'll never get over this. You will never recover from this. And my core mission is to let people know recover, the healing is possible. It's hard. It is really hard. You have to work at it. It doesn't just come overnight. You have to actually fight for it. And I tell a lot of people that we've worked with, you're in the fight of your life. It's not just going to come lightly. You have to, and every holiday, every birthday, every anniversary is different and it shows up different. So you just have to keep pushing through. The griever has to be the hero of their own story. You brought me to the program, right? You tricked me to get me there, but I had a choice as the griever to make of whether or not I was going to really lean in and accept what they were teaching.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I've tried that. So I did the opposite. I turned the phone down and then turned it to zero. If I can't get rid of the echo, I really want to record this. But if I can't get rid of the echo, I'm going to have to go off the computer. So sad. Erica.
You have your echo. It was gone, but now it's back.
Yeah, so I turned it down. No, go back to it. Brittany, come here and help us. Erica, I have a question for you. What is the it you're trying to get rid of? That's the part that I think I have the hardest time explaining to people. I say it. She said the echo's just on your side, not Erica's. The it is the pain. The it is the knife stabbed in your heart. The it is the I will never feel better again. The it is everything that has to do within your heart.
Yeah.
What is the it?
The it is every hug you're gonna miss, every snuggle you remember when they were babies, the thinking about you won't attend a high school graduation or a wedding or it's all the things you remember that you're no longer going to have anymore, and then the things that you're aware that you're never going to get because they're not here to give that to you.
Becky lost her son Ashton and her daughter Dixie, and she said, "I thought my life was over."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry for you. I'm so sorry, because it's just to have the one experience, you never imagined that you'd have to go through it again. I felt like I was like getting it past, like, okay, I did my one. I did my one. Okay, good luck, God help anyone else that has to go through it. But to have to survive two losses, it's almost unimaginable.
So let's talk about the 20 years. It's been 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years. From day one, June 17th, to today, his 30th birthday. Were there still tough days in between?
Yes, like a million.
Yeah. Even though we say you recovered from the pain, there still were tough days.
Mm-hmm.
There still were days where you're trying to figure out, how do I put one foot in front of the other?
Yeah.
Before Austin died, what did you believe about grief?
I never even thought about grief.
Me either.
I don't even think I ever talked about grief.
Me either. I don't think I ever used the word grief.
No.
I thought, and what did you think about someone losing a child?
I never knew anyone that, you know what I mean? Like Charlene, until our sister lost her baby. That was probably the first time I ever thought that was, and then I think back, because that's how really naive and young and immature. I never even really followed. I don't feel like I showed up. I do not feel like I showed up for her in her grief. And I feel really bad about that, knowing what I know now. I think I just thought, oh, you just got to give them space. Like, she needed her space to be sad. And then one day she wasn't going to be sad.
Okay. But second to that, when people have lost they lose a baby before the baby is born, we also have this thought, like, well, she can have another baby.
Yeah.
She can do it again. Come on, girl, you got it. You can do this again.
Yeah.
I was there. I showed up for her, but I didn't know what I was doing. I probably showed up the same way you showed up.
Right.
Girl, come on, we can do this again. You can have another baby.
Mm-hmm.
We love you, Charlene.
We do, sister. And I'm sorry.
So sorry. Well, Erica, you have a very good friend that just lost his wife, and I saw him at your house on Saturday, and I said, I think about you all the time. And I'm a grief specialist. I called you back and I was like, you should have said something more. I should have said something different. And you were like, no, Sharon, that was perfect. Like, I second guessed, what I'm saying. So if I'm second guessing, I know other people are second guessing.
Yeah.
How many mistakes did you make in the last 20 years?
I don't even, too many to count. Too many to count.
How many things did you do right?
Choosing to find healing is like the most important.
Wow.
That's the most important. That one will keep giving, for the rest of my life, because I was able to at least make it out of the darkness.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. I want to know the thought. Do you remember the thought you had when I said, we found him? He drowned. What was the thought? Not the story, the thought.
When you first said we found him, it was like, I remember feeling relief, like, oh my God, like, and then it like he drowned, came right back. So I felt like my brain wasn't able to absorb that.
Right.
It was like it wasn't, because that is something that was never on my radar, that could happen,
Right.
that my child would drown.
Right.
It was never. So it was like that piece of information was not being understood by my brain, but
Right.
my heart, because I immediately reacted. I screamed and dropped down and started sobbing. So
Yes.
my body heard it, my heart heard it, but my brain was not taking it in.
I just talked about that in a video where I say your body absorbs the shock first before your brain
Mhm.
takes it in. Did you blame yourself?
No, not in that moment, because it was like I was so in shock. Not in that moment at all.
Did blame ever come in for you?
Blame? No. But what I did was, and what we all do as humans, I started reviewing the relationship. And then I remembered every single time I yelled at him, and every time that I had to punish him, and every time that he got on my nerves. And then it was like, oh my God, I'm the worst mother in the world.
Daily. I'm sorry. I'm also going to say this. I've never heard you say that before.
Because these are things that you think about after, these
Oh,
are
yeah.
things then that's what I was doing. And that's human nature,
Right.
that people beat themselves up for that. But that is how we are designed as humans. We review everything, but because we tend to lean towards the negative in our society, instead of looking at all the beautiful moments I got to have with him, that I was blessed to have by this child, I focus on the negative.
Yeah. Did you question your identity as a mother?
Completely. You don't know who you are. Being the mother of a 10-year-old required, and a 10-year-old Austin, who we've already shared how amazing and special he was, required so much intervention at school, to not get those phone calls on a regular basis. Then it's like, yeah, who am I now? There
Yeah.
is this huge hole in my world. I didn't have to go to the school and try to save them from Austin.
Yeah. I remember the day you came back crying, or you called me when the lady asked you how many children you had.
Yeah, that was awful.
That doesn't seem like 20 years ago. That seems like 100 years ago.
I feel like it's like 20. It feels like 6 months, and it feels like 100 years. Like, it feels like you know what I mean? It's like, doesn't feel like I had him for enough time, so it feels like that was really cut short. But the kind of emotional aging process that grief causes, it feels like 100 years.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Going back to those times. Guys, we're talking about Loving, Losing, and Living, Erica's book about her 3 boys, which was absolutely beautiful. I'm going to be reading from the book a little bit. You're never prepared. You are the best part of me. My heart, my eyes, my soul. You grew inside of me. Our hearts beating as one. You came into life with such a force and made me love you instantly. Your presence could not be ignored. And everyone who met you truly adored your spirit. You are the best of me. My heart, my eyes, my soul. On June 17th, you were taken from me, and now my heart is missing a beat. An emptiness inside me that I cannot hear. You left the world, and instantly I knew that the best of me was you. Love, Mom.
Yeah.
You poured everything in here. You told the truth in here. The raw truth. Why?
That's the only way to get to the healing. That's the only way. We, as grief specialists, have to lead by example. And if we're not going there and showing the people who we're encountering our raw truth, then how can we expect them to do the same and to go out, really go after the healing? And it's through my experience that I'm hoping to really show people, like, they can see I'm a real person. I am a real person. I had real children, and the pain I experienced was 1000% real. And so I needed to demonstrate that. So then if they're going through it or something similar, they know that their healing is also possible and out there for them.
Did the 20 years bring you to this book, do you think?
What do you mean?
Did it bring you, like, not that it's 20 years, but it's like, "I gotta put this down. I gotta put it down." Like, what did you expect? I guess this is my question. What do you want for the mamas who pick up this book?
I want the most important thing is I want people to see, and especially through my story, that grief is everywhere. It's through my whole entire existence. It's in the beginning when when I lay out kind of like our ethnic background and our culture. It's there because, we're kind of in the in between as far as, being a black family, but that doesn't really look like a black family. So it's there. It's in the losing of the children. It was in my marriage and having problems in my marriage. Like grief is everywhere. And then to really see how you need to really go after those parts in your relationships, when you lose someone, when you struggle with your career, all the things like that. This, sadly, it's life, right?
Right,
This is our life.
right.
And if we're not having these conversations to talk about grief is showing up in your life, how are you going to know how to make the changes you need to make? So that's why I felt it was important to lay this story out.
Becky said, "I thought my life was over." Wow, choosing to find healing. I hadn't thought of it that way. Erica, your story gave me hope that I needed to choose healing. Wow, that's beautiful. Hey, EK.
Thank
Come on
you.
up. Isn't that beautiful? So beautiful. She's just a beautiful sister that we've come to know. Okay. When was the moment? I'm talking just about Austin, not about Donovan. When was the moment you realized you couldn't stay in the darkness?
I think with Austin, it was seeing Donovan struggle.
Mm,
Seeing Donovan struggle. Lewis was at that time avoiding all things grief. So it was like I knew that if Donovan was going to make it out to have to find, to find his healing, I had to lead the way for him.
right.
And I had to model it for him. And I was hoping that by doing that, Lewis would eventually, kind of come back in, and then we'd all do it as a family. Jordan was so little,
Yeah.
he just was practically a baby. But Donovan was like my why, I guess I would say.
Yeah. The other thing that I think about is even as we started our first healing program of many, that you still had that look. My
Yeah.
you still had that based off look of, "Hey, somebody help me. Help
Yeah.
me." What does healing mean to you now, 20 years later?
Healing is like, it's a beautiful word if you think about it, right? Because it means to be better in, whatever fashion. But when I think about healing, the word, it has so much pain still associated. Like it's like
Mhm.
something that is hurting that needs to be made better, right? So it's like there's still so much pain. I just like it's like a journey, I guess I
Yeah.
would say. It's a total journey. It's not something that's instant.
Do you think, because one of the things that you and I teach is the pain of grief is what we can go after. We go after the pain of grief, we remove the pain, but the missing them hangs on.
Yeah.
And it hangs on for a long time. I was just sharing this with a beautiful sister last night. She lost her mom, and we were talking about missing them. Do you still miss Austin and Donovan the way you did at the beginning?
No.
The day you
No.
found
Not that I don't, and I miss them every minute of every day. I
Yeah.
do. But in the beginning, the intensity that you miss them, it's like a longing. Like
Right.
it's hard to put it into words if you haven't really experienced it, but it's like it consumes you
Yeah.
how much you miss them, and how you won't ever get one more minute, one more second with them. And that knowledge is almost too much to bear.
Yeah.
So that intensity definitely decreases. So if there's anyone on here who's just starting their grief journey, just please know you won't always feel it that intense.
The missing them in the beginning has pain still attached to it sometimes.
So much.
And but then you have this missing, like, I miss Karen, I miss Daddy, I miss Austin, I miss Donovan. Like, Austin's today would be his 30th birthday. Like,
Yeah.
what would we be doing?
Well,
Right?
this weekend, that's what I kept thinking over the weekend, because we got, we had a small little gathering, and I'm like, there would have been 100 more people there with us, celebrating him, because we definitely would have planned something big, and there would have been all the family and the friends there to celebrate him. I know it.
Is there this part, and let me ask you, is there this part where you're like, who would be his girlfriend now? Would he be dating? Would he be a bricklayer?
Married? Would he
Would
be
he
married?
be married? Would he have had
Yeah.
kids already? Like, would you and he have still gotten along? Who would him and Keith Michael would totally be ace queen spoons, like,
Yeah.
where would he be right now? You can only imagine. And when you go into that imagining of what he would be and who he would be, is there pain in that?
Not anymore.
Mm.
Not anymore. But there was. I mean,
Yeah.
there was. But I think that that's a true testament to what I was saying earlier. I really do think I'm on the other side.
Yeah.
The pain is not attached to those things. I can let my mind go there and just give it that little smile, because I'm like, I just wonder.
Okay, here's a super question. Look at this. How did your grief become your purpose? It had to be. But did it have to be? Is it a stupid question? I don't know. Let me think about that. At what point did the pain turn into a mission to educate others? And I say that because you lost the two boys. So
Right. The minute that I realized that it was real, the healing was real, that it became a purpose in that instant. When I realized that this wasn't all just fluff and mirrors, like, we really felt better.
Yeah.
You and I both were like, we have to tell everyone about this.
Yeah.
That's what it became a purpose.
Yeah. If a mother's listening right now who just lost her child and thinks she will never survive this, what would you say to her if she was in our life right now?
I would say, yes, absolutely, you feel that way. Absolutely, you feel like you're not going to survive it, because that is how it feels. That's why grief is so scary. And that's why everyone wants to do anything they can to avoid it, because it feels like you will not survive it. The pain is so immeasurable and so debilitating. It does not feel like you will make it through one day. That's normal. And then I would say that is normal, but you will survive it.
One of the things that I've been talking about lately in the story room, I do something called the story room on Thursdays, and one of the things I realized, Erica, is that, like, sometimes I feel like we're talking about this, like, here's grief, and we're talking about this, right? But remember those phone calls after Austin died?
Yeah.
Those daily phone calls we had? Okay, so if grief is, we're talking about grief out here, me and you right now. The phone calls were like this. They were like, we hit the bullseye on them. We talked about getting the call, what it was like, what your spirit was like. And that's what I have this thing called the story room, where people can come in and share.
Mm-hmm.
And this week, we talked about being in the room when they died, like what it was like with Daddy. We talked about Daddy and Sharon. What was it like seeing Austin? Tell about that story. Talk about your story.
It was like surreal. It's happening, but it doesn't feel like it's happening. It's like almost like there's this detachment. For me personally, this is how it felt for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wasn't all the way plugged in to what I was seeing. And I felt, I guess, it's like your protection mode, right? Your brain goes into protecting you. So I knew it was happening. It wasn't like I was in denial. But I didn't feel it. It was like I was completely numb, and I was looking at him. And so what happened is we were not able to get in to see him right away. So because he had drowned, what happens to the body is it swells up. So his face got swollen, and he looked like he had been stung by bees. So when I looked at him, and I think that also was a kind of a blessing for my protection, because it didn't look like him, his face. His hands, though, his hands were crossed over his little body, and his hands were his. And so it was like, when I looked at the hands, one, I couldn't look at the face because it was actually quite traumatic. But looking at his hands, it was instant. I just recognized that those were completely his hands. So it made me emotional to look at his little hands.
And one of the things that reason that I'm doing this is because I think that we are all talking about grief, but a lot of us aren't talking about the story. And the story is those moments.
Yeah.
So Erica, I don't know if you remember this. The day before I went and met him there. I met him there and I called you and I was like, you have to come in. He's in perfect condition.
Yeah.
But you couldn't go in. They wouldn't let you in.
Right.
You went that day, but they wouldn't let you in. So you went back the next day. And there was a little resistance in seeing him because what you just described to me is an out-of-body experience. You're like, I'm looking at my child, but this is not my child.
Yeah, nothing. It was not registering at all.
Yeah, it was not registering at all. I'm going to go ahead 10 years later. You were adamant that you see Donovan. Why the difference? You know?
No.
Interesting.
No.
And I was like, well, I don't know. They're not going to let you in. They said that they kept giving me all these excuses. And you were like, you looked at me and you're like, I have to see him. You don't know why?
No.
Do you remember that?
I think I was scared that something similar was going to happen, that he wouldn't look like himself.
Right.
And I didn't want that because I didn't push. Like, I probably should have pushed with Austin, and I didn't. I just took it at face value that they're like, oh no. And so we left.
Yeah, it was a difficult time. We can't get you in, and you should have pushed back.
Yeah, I felt like I should have pushed back. So I felt like with Donovan, I was going to push on that because I didn't want the same thing to happen.
I think that talking about certain parts of the story like this makes a difference in the healing. Like, really going in there and examining it. It's the difference between what's going on in your brain and what's going on in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to share it and have one of the ladies told me she was working, but she was just playing the live as we were talking. It's not live, it's in a private room. But she said every time someone shared a story, it made her think of her story. And she's like, I wanted to jump in and say, that happened to me. That happened to me. So like giving people a place to lay their story, which I think is so
well. And the holding the space for each other, because that's also where the healing happens, is when people go through it. So it was happening to me, right? I'm the mom. You were my support system and family member. So as a family, you're also affected. But it's weird because you don't know that other people have these same experiences. And that's why these stories are so important, because you think you're so alone and like you're the only one. And so when you hear it, you're like, oh my God, yes, like that. I felt that. Someone else felt that. I'm normal. I'm not crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what started it. I was like, we need to normalize grief, because I shared something the other day, and I like that video that I shared something intimate, and it went crazy, and I was like, people don't want to talk about grief. They don't want to talk about that stuff. They want to talk about what the hell happened to them.
Yeah.
And how this felt, and how it felt seeing that body, and how it felt holding his hand, and what it was like when they took their last breath.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there any part of your story that you didn't share?
No. I mean, I think I feel like I went to the dark places when I was writing it. You know, I was trying to really convey how really dark it was.
Yeah.
Just the things that were in my mind. I think as far as the grief part, I definitely went there. Where I have regret about the book and the stories, there's so many more funny stories that I've thought of now that I'm like, oh, I should have put that in. Oh.
Well, that's got to be part 2. It's got to be loving, losing, living, and funny.
And funny stories I forgot to mention.
Okay, here's the other thing. Now that you mentioned that, we're so sarcastic.
Yeah.
We're so mean to each other. We say the crudest things. I'm going to be honest. I'm telling the truth. There were moments that we would be in the grief, the depths of the grief, and burst out laughing. So I think that a lot of people think that grief is just sad, 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 cry, sad, sad,
Right.
sad. But not if you're in the Onore family.
No.
If we didn't have that, we wouldn't have survived, Erica.
No.
If we weren't able to laugh at ourselves, laugh at other people in the room, and we would cry, we would laugh, it was all of that. It was sort of like that moment in Steel Magnolias where they start arguing, where she grabs her, pushes her, hit her, and then everybody bursts out laughing. We had moments like that over and over and over again. And I think sometimes when grievers are experiencing that, they think it's wrong and they feel bad for laughing.
So true, because it's like in the old movie versions, you're never allowed to laugh. You're not even allowed. You got to wear black. You just got to look miserable. And so that's the message that as society we pick up. Like laughing is, you're not allowed to laugh for a year. You need to just look miserable, wear the black, and go from room to room with your tissues. But one of the things that we've shared and talked about a lot is you grieve true to your personality.
Yeah.
And we have always been sarcastic, and we've always made crude jokes and had inappropriate timing on things. And so that is how we all grieved. We grieved to that fashion.
Yeah.
That's who we are as people.
Yeah. Somebody said rules, exclamation mark, like there's these rules that you have to follow with grief. And that's not necessarily true.
It's not.
I think also for me, and I tell the story a lot, I was waiting for Uncle Lou's guidance, like what he was going to do, and then also what you were going to do. Even like with the picture, this picture, I want to talk about the picture of the GI picture, the AI picture, where I went through and enhanced that. Like I didn't put it out because I'm like, that's not my place. I asked you, I said, hey, I did this. Is it okay?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, send it to me. I'll tell the story in a second. But all of that has to be, the griever has to take the lead.
Right.
Nobody could come out and take the lead. So Erica and I were having a conversation the other day about how she wants to learn more about AI. And in that conversation, I was telling her how I've had some recent pictures where I were really cute pictures, but I had hair. And so in the midst of the time, I was like, I wonder if I could take the hair off those pictures. So I started playing with that. And then we were talking about Austin being 30. And I was like, I wonder if I could figure out what he would look like now. Because you see it a lot in crime stories, right? Where they're like, here's the rendition of what we think he would look like. So I took Erica's picture, Donovan's picture, Lewis's picture, Lewis at 30 years old, Lewis's dad, and I put them all in AI, and I said, here's his last picture we have of him, which is his school picture at 10 years old. Please give me the rendition of what you think he would look like now. And so, and when it came out, I did exactly what you did. He was like, okay, done. And he shot it to me, and I took my breath away. I was like, because it looked like I knew that guy. It looked like I knew him. So I went upstairs and I had the picture on the phone, and I said, Brittany, who is this? And she goes, Austin. She knew immediately.
Yeah.
When I called you, I was like, cool, I need to call Erica. So I called you and said, hey, this is what I did. And you said, let me see it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you knew this, but you took the deepest breath when you opened that text. You were like,
yeah.
That he got his eyes right.
It definitely has the shape of his eyes. The first one, I think his skin tone was a little bit darker. And so when you did the second one, skin tone was perfect. The hair wasn't right. So then I swapped the two pictures' hair, and then that one. And then this is how I know that we really nailed it. I showed it to Lou, and he instantly got tears in his eyes, and he started crying, and he said, that's him. And that's when I knew it was right. It got it right.
And then when you sent it back to me, I showed it to Brittany, and she's like, What kind of hair is that?
Well, and that's exactly the kind of hair that he had,
It
though.
was thick strands of hair, not curly.
But his hair was coarse, and that's why I always kept it so short, because it didn't really curl properly, and it was just like it was a mess. So that's why I kept it really, really close and cut down, because I didn't know what I was going to do with it.
The reason that I put the grandfather in, Erica, is because Austin had that round face, right?
Yeah.
But the way AI fixed it was, it makes sense because he would have thinned out. He would have gotten chiseled as a young man.
Yes.
30 years old. And that, to me, was like the most amazing, beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let's talk about that. So then I didn't post the picture anywhere. I shared it in a group in here. I held it up on my phone, but I didn't post it anywhere because I didn't feel like that was my place. It is yours to do with as you saw fit. Because what if you didn't want to put it out? What if you just wanted that for you and Uncle Lou? That would have been your decision to make, correct?
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we talk about all the time, is that there needs to be grief boundaries, and people should be respected with whatever their boundaries are. And that, because we know that, like, you make a point to check in with people, because you can't just assume that, the person wants that picture shared. It's their personal decision. And I always appreciate that you make sure to check and be like, hey, what do you think about this? And I'm like, no, I love it.
So I have two last questions, and then I'll see if there's any questions in the group. She says, I'm laughing and crying. Lisa says, I'm laughing and crying. Girl, you got to hang out with us if you're laughing and crying. Yes. Sometimes I used to tell Erica, you need to stop laughing all the time when we were doing our podcast. You need to be more serious. And then one day I was like, but we are selling healing. We're not selling
right.
We're not selling grief. Okay. Which one? I have two questions. And we'll end on Austin. When grief gets fixed in this world, what will it look like? What do you want it to look like? What do you want it to look like when we're grieving differently?
It'll be just like what we talked about. There will be the sadness and the heaviness of it, and then you can immediately go into laughter and telling the stories and keeping the memory alive.
Yeah.
I feel like that is the biggest takeaway of what grief should look like in the future. We don't have to bury the memories and the stories with the person. Keep the stories and the memories going. Let them live through the stories. And I feel like that has also been my goal, is that anyone I encounter will know Donovan and Austin and know what they were like, and can ask me any question about them, and I will answer openly and honestly, because those are my boys, and I want them talked about.
Yeah. And here, don't you feel like sometimes you and I are on this little island going, you can do it, and everyone's like, you're crazy.
I feel like everyone thinks I'm insane.
No, you are, but you still have done this grief thing. So there's something to that. Okay. Tell me, introduce 30-year-old Donovan to Austin to the world. Well, who is he now?
30-year-old Austin is still very quirky. He is still going to love, I don't know if they'll be the same food. So at 10, it was Chef Boyardee ravioli and hot wings or buffalo wings from Chili's. I don't know if he would still love them, but he would still love, like, really just crazy foods. He will still have a little droop in his smile.
Yeah.
When he talks. And I know for a fact he will still be saying, but Dad, every time him and Lewis didn't agree on something. I miss those words.
Yeah. Oh, and I could see him. He would have been out there Saturday, cooking everything, doing all this right next to his dad, just like Donovan was.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read this. Sharon, I don't know where I would be if you hadn't committed to saving me. I truly appreciate you and all that you have done for me. Love, your younger, prettier sister, Erica. And then I got a pencil and I scratched out prettier. Because, like, come on now, that's the truth, right? All right, where can people get the book?
Right now it's on Amazon. So if you go, you can search Erica P. Honore, or you can search the title Loving, Losing, and Living, and you can get it on Amazon. My one request is if you order the book, please write a review, because I really, really do want to know what people think. And I just, I love getting the feedback and seeing what people's takeaway are from the book.
Oh, awesome. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so there, everybody, you guys got to go get the book. Take a look at the book. She loves. I love the book. I'm going to go through here real quick live just to see if there's any questions for you. And then I'll let you go. You got to get to work.
Yes.
And we don't want your boss to catch you on a lie. Ron says grief has no choice. Grief has its own space. Choices come as a result of grief. Can't avoid grief.
You definitely can't avoid it. You definitely can't avoid it. But there are choices in grief, just like there's choices in life. People can choose not to grieve openly. It doesn't mean the grieving is not happening. You're still it's going to bleed out into every area of your life. If you make that decision and choice of, I'm just not going to grieve, then it's going to delay it, and it's going to just tangle up a lot of things that you don't want tangled.
Charlene said Savannah Forever 28. She's sharing her daughter. Oh. Suzanne said, hi, Erica.
Hi.
I lost my husband on March 20th, 2025. And 3 weeks later, on April 12th, 2025, I lost my daughter. This is Pam. Pam, our hearts to yours.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Pam.
Our hearts to yours. If you're still here, put her name so we can share her. I lost my mom in 07 and my husband in 2010, my oldest child last summer. Undecided, Maddie. My heart to yours, love. Truly our heart to yours. EK says, hi. Hey, EK. Monette said at one point, she said, I'm learning this. Like she was learning some stuff that you're saying. Sending love to you all here. Thank you for being here. Erica, thank you for being here and sharing. That was Marie.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'm just looking for questions going through here. You're looking at the book already.
Oh, thank you.
I did this work at the cemetery with my mom for 3 years, meeting others. Oh, she did some grief work at the cemetery. And I could not see my husband's body after he passed. I could not do it for my mental health. Joanne, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's part of choices. Grievers have choices. Not that we're giving you permission, but grievers have choices, right, Erica?
Yeah, and if this is the thing, and I kind of feel like I naturally did this, and it worked out in my favor, thankfully. I put up boundaries for myself right away. So I didn't go to the accident site after Donovan died.
Yeah.
I knew that I couldn't handle that.
Yeah.
I didn't read the news story. They did a news story after Austin died. And I believe I heard you guys talking about, there was a picture of Lewis, and I never looked at that. Yeah. I didn't want to read coroner's reports. Like, people make those choices. But my biggest fear was, once you look at it, once you go see the body or read the thing or whatever, you can't unknow it.
Yeah.
And it makes that more painful. So I feel like if you made that choice for you, it was absolutely the right decision, and you should never second guess it.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Hey, Julie. Julie's here from Alaska. Oh, Lisa said this is the best movie ever. And she would go see it.
Oh, thank you, Lisa, from your lips to God's ears. I really, really want to get this story out there. I mean, it's one worth telling for sure.
She's okay. It's beautiful. Oh, you guys are beautiful souls. I'm laughing and crying. She says, I talk to my two girls about when I have to read them. Lisa, I love that. I absolutely love that. That is absolutely, I think, another thing that grief does for you is it causes you, not causes you. It makes it safe to have the tough subjects,
Right.
to embark upon the tough subjects and have the tough conversations.
Yeah.
I mean, even as sisters, we've had tough
There is nothing
conversations.
wrong with having the conversations.
Right.
I am currently working in hospice, and it is shocking how many family members I ask that about, like, have you guys ever talked about? And they never had the conversation.
Mhm.
They don't know what the wishes are. They don't know what type of burial. We have to start having those conversations.
It comes with normalizing it.
Yes.
It's a part of life. As far as I know, Erica, we only get out of here one way. And so we have to start to normalize it. I say Rita is her mom's name. She said I say her name every day. I miss my son so much. I don't know if I can do this without him. Liza, my heart to yours. My heart to yours. Truly our heart to yours. It does feel like that in the beginning.
It does. And we don't want to do it without them. I didn't want to go into the next day without them. Not at all. Sadly, though, that part is not, we don't get to choose. None of us would choose this.
No. Hell no. No. I totally think he would still love those foods. That's what EK said. Even if he were, those were his favorite. Yep, it would. It's also oddly, not love, but beautiful. Erica chose to serve him at his celebration of life, and we had a big table set up. We had a big sign made and said, enjoy some of Austin's favorite. And that table was empty. Everybody ate that. So Lisa said, is he gluten-free? No, he was 10 and he smelled like recess.
He did all the time. Oh my God, he was always so sweaty and sticky.
Yes. So Monette is who I wanted to introduce you to earlier. She's going to be writing her story as well. She said, Erica, I'm going to need some points for you one day.
Oh, absolutely.
3 beautiful children, Sabrina, Danielle, and Gary Dale. She has lost her 3 children. They're beautiful. Gwen says, exactly, thank you. And Liz says his name was Caesar Hernandez, Forever 28. Our heart to yours, Caesar. They said hi. Okay, she said she's grabbing the book. Blessed to see you on my FYP. Okay. All right, good. That was all really good. All right, sister. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to do this today. You guys, this just came up last night. We just were talking about Austin, and I said, hey, you want to do a live tomorrow? Because I wasn't even supposed to be on live today. And she's like, yeah, let's do it. And I just, to my nephew, I know he would still be Uncle T's best friend. He would be wanting to hang out with Uncle T all the time. They would be looking at tractors and trucks. And he probably would have ended up with Mike Jordan instead of Jason.
I honestly, that was my first thought the other day when Tony went and got in the tractor to go feed the cows. I said he would have to fight Austin if Austin was here. That's what I thought. I was like, yeah, they'd have to take turns on who got to drive the tractor.
Sheila's in here. Sheila's in your live.
Hi,
Sheila. Oh yeah, Susan. Sorry, yeah, we couldn't get rid of the echo. I'm so sorry. All right. Hey Sheila, so glad you're here. She said, hi, today's Austin's birthday, so we're doing that. Yeah, they would be fighting for the tractor for sure. Absolutely for sure. All right, everybody. She said rich Uncle Tony, because I always talk about how he said he was the richest person.
And seeing him now with, we have so many more platforms, right, for the streaming, and you could find any movie. I bet you Austin would have seen every one of Uncle T's movies.
And
he would have watched every single one.
And quoting all the lines. That's what it is. So Angelica said, happy 30th birthday, Austin.
Thank you. Thank you
so much. All right. So I want to say this to my nephew, Austin. I love you. You gave me purpose in this world. I had to experience this, the toughest thing of my life. but through your loss, you absolutely gave me purpose. And thank you.
And thank you for all the people that I'm able to help.
Yes, Becky, what's the
what's the
question?
question?
All the people that I'm
People
able
that
to
I'm
help
able to help
because of you.
because of
It's
you.
because
It's
you and
because
I
you and I are doing this together.
So,
Yeah.
what's the question, Miss
What's the
Becky?
question,
She
Miss
says,
Becky?
I have
She
a
says, I have
question
a
for her.
question
Do
for
you
her.
want to
Do you
ask
want
it
to ask
here?
it here?
Suzanne says
Suzanne says there's a big echo and a time delay. I'm hoping we can get some.
Oh,
She
no.
happy birthday,
Happy birthday,
Austin,
Austin.
There's a time delay on the
on our voice, I guess.
but I mean on the which one?
She says, I have a question for Erica. Thank you, Austin. Becky, do you want to ask the question here, or do you want to send it to me? Oh, Angelica said not here. Okay.
Okay.
All right, sister. I love you.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you everyone for showing up. Austin, I mean, that boy thinks he wanted to be famous. I think he felt like he would end up being famous, and he ultimately did end up being famous, and he would love all the love that you guys are giving him. So on his behalf, I just want to say thank you so much. And I will continue to celebrate this birthday for him. Lou's out of town, so I have to go to Chili's by myself today. So we'll figure that out.
Oh, wow. Maybe I'll make some hot wings. I have some wings.
There you go.
I still got some wings. I'll make some wings. Okay, here's her question. Do you still have fear of losing someone else? Or did that fear eventually go away?
Nope. Every day. And I think more so because Sharon and I chose to make grief our mission. And so I'm in this grief world. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm working in hospice now, and I'm seeing death on a daily basis. And so it's just inevitable that it's just part of my world. I constantly am trying to be mindful and present in my relationships and let people know in real time how much I appreciate them, how much I love them. I'm trying. I don't always nail it, but I'm trying. And I feel like that's an important piece to practice because we never know when it's going to be the next loss.
Yeah. This is Susan. Remember Susan and Gil?
Yeah.
Okay, she lost her son.
Oh, Susan, I'm so sorry.
Her son Brandon. She's coming up on 1 year. So she said, happy birthday, Austin. I already have tears from what you said. And so I've been walking alongside of her and helping her. And, our love to you and Brandon. She's coming up on her 1 year.
Oh,
So she's the one that said, there's an echo in here. So I'm sorry, Susan. Beautiful. Everyone's saying happy birthday to Austin.
Thank you guys so much. He appreciates it. If you have an opportunity on my Facebook page, I shared it on my personal and the one for the book, Erica P. Onore, or you could just search Erica Onore, but the Chat GPT picture is up there.
Yes,
and it's
the 10-year-old picture.
Side. So if you want to go see it, it's up on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right, Erica.
All right. Bye, everyone. Love you so much. Thank you.
I love you too. Thank you.